for Talk Radio.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit relieffactor.com today.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is a reality check for you. That is, Donald Trump is still the sun on which the planets of the GOP revolve around. You can see it quite well here. Look at this. Trump endorsees one Senate primaries. If the person that he endorsed is not an elected incumbent, like Darlene Graham was, you know, since 2022, or 2022 was about 95% of the time, has that weakened it all this cycle? No, it has not. It has actually gotten stronger. Look at this. 100% of the time, if Trump endorsed a non-elected incumbent like Darlene Graham, they in fact won the Republican primary for United States Senate. Trump's name is still the one that GOP voters buy when it comes to Senate endorsement.
Yeah. And who do the Democrats have? Nobody. Jim Gossett.
It sucks to be you. You Democrats, you.
You're just a Trump cheerleader. Hell yeah.
Inflation is down. Schumer's a clown. He'll get his due.
You got Hassan Piker.
No Kings was a flop.
El Sayed.
But you will not stop.
Kamala Harris.
I'll bring the world peace. More wars I will cease. We'll come out on top.
Joe Biden. Oh my God.
Drug boats we took out.
Oh my gosh.
We ended all doubt.
Come on, man.
The border is closed. Letitia is hosed. While Democrats pout.
Boo friggity who.
The new ballroom will be complete.
Yeah, it will be. Too bad for
While
you.
Democrats will suffer defeat. It sucks to be you. Miserable you. It sucks to be you.
Now a new NBC News poll shows the Democratic Party has reached an all-time low in popularity.
Why and all you want about the National Guard? Antifa pals, we will bombard. It sucks to be you. You know that it's true. It sucks to be you.
Yeah, but the Democrat Party is definitely going to take the midterms because, you know, usually the opposing party wins the midterms. But usually the opposing party isn't freaking out of their minds. Yet usually the opposing party in the midterms doesn't believe that little boys can become little girls and beat girls in women's sports. Usually the opposing party doesn't believe in an open border or getting rid of prisons or getting rid of the police or getting rid of the Senate. Oh, my gosh. And usually the opposing party doesn't celebrate a Maoist Marxist who cheered Charlie Kirk's murder and appeared with him on the stump just a few weeks ago. And they're trying to distance it from all of that. And guess what? It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Yeah, if you don't believe me, here's what's happening with the Democrat Party right now versus what Harry Hinton just said about Donald Trump.
I got to tell you, PU when it comes to the Democratic
Well,
Party,
really?
the net favorability rating of the Democratic Party. You know, back in 2018,
They're going to win, though. I mean, they're going to totally win in November, yeah.
when Democrats, during the first Trump presidency, right, when they were able to win back control of the House, they were even. They were even, right?
Yeah.
Favorable minus unfavorable.
Till they went bat guano crazy.
Even at 0-0-0.
Yeah.
Now look at this.
What?
25 points underwater.
Underwater!
Oof. You know, the Dem brand, as I said, it's not too good these days. It's not too good. It kind of smells like a New York sidewalk in the summer.
Which generally, of course, smells like urine and weed. A little bit of combination. I think part of it because the weed in the air and then also the residue in the urine. But anyway, there you go. That's it. Here's a little bit more from Harry Hinton about Donald Trump's endorsement. You know, and listen, it's pretty remarkable when you think about it. 95% negative press coverage for 10 stinking years. In that time, we have seen the absolute disintegration of the major networks' ratings. We've seen a gutting of their anchors. They are removed. They are fired. They are whatever. Everything from Joy Reid to Chris Cuomo to whoever. You've seen almost like prime time viewership drop below 5 million people on the nightly news on the major networks. MS Now, literally, they made it MS Now because NBC didn't want to be associated with MSNBC. They're like, oh, you got to get rid of the NBC. I don't know, call it Now or something.
Yeah, I would say that this is probably the endorsement of Darlene Graham and getting her across the finish line in the Republican Party is probably the strongest sign of Donald Trump's name being gold in Republican primaries to date. It's by far his most impressive.
It is the reason why she won.
Performance, because just take a look here. It's according to the Kalshi prediction market. Chance to win the South Carolina special GOP Senate primary. Before the Trump endorsement, it was just 14%.
What?
Just 14%. The reason why Darlene Graham won that primary, won that nomination, is because of one name and one name only, Donald John Trump. This was his most impressive endorsement to date in terms of getting someone actually nominated, because she basically stood no chance. Once that endorsement came in, her chances rocketed well north of 50%, and last night she won that nomination.
Do you know why it means so much? Because we've never seen a politician go through so much and still want to lead the country. He went through 4 years of hell, 4 years of Russia collusion hoax, an impeachment based on nothing, then an election that was clearly, allegedly, supposedly corrupt. Then, before he announced his presidential desires, the DOJ went after him in every way, shape, or form. 4 massive political trials, 20 states trying to get him off the ballot, 2 assassination attempts, 1 bullet went through his ear. And never did he say, okay, I'm out. I'm just going to go be rich. I'm going to build buildings. I'm going to play golf. I'm going to enjoy time with one of the most beautiful women in the world, my wife. And there you go. And you know what he did? Instead, he raised his fist to the sky after he was shot. And he said, fight, fight, fight. You will never, ever take that away from us. You will never take that away from him. You have no idea who you're dealing with, DSA. You are children throwing a temper tantrum, bringing up ideas that have failed the world over. We are battle-hardened, not battle-weary, and we will crush you when November rolls around. Now, forever, it was sacrilege. It was blasphemy to say that Donald Trump might be a better president than, hold on. Ronald Reagan. I know. Ronald Reagan was a great president. Ronald Reagan was also nearly assassinated as well, and he literally was making jokes on the way to the hospital. He was a man of brilliant spirits despite all of the slings and arrows he suffered. One of the amazing things. There's Abraham Lincoln. He did not survive an assassination by a Democrat. All of these have things in common, don't they? Yes, they do. But Harry Hinton says Republicans feel like Donald Trump could be the greatest president ever.
But I just love this one. Okay, the president Republicans most admire, it's Donald Trump. This is a historic comparison. A majority of Republicans say, 53% say, he's the Republican president they most admire. Ronald Reagan, who traditionally has won that much, Donald Trump nearly triples up on this. Reagan at just 18%. And then Abraham Lincoln, who, by most historic accounts, is the greatest president of all time. But Republicans say that the president that they most admire by, what is this? This is 6-7 times as many, Donald John Trump at 53%, easily crushing Abe Lincoln at 8%. And the Elon poll showed that he was the greatest president as well, Donald
I feel
Trump.
like this slide might end up on a printout on his desk sometime soon if he hasn't seen it already.
You know, you can make fun of us. You can malign us. You have called us white supremacists with no justification whatsoever. You've demonized the hard-working, industrious people of this country who have built this country and continue to feed this country and house this country and make it the greatest country in the history of the world. You have said nothing positive about our military as they have destroyed the biggest sponsor of terror for 47 years in the world. The Democrat Party is nothing but darkness. The leadership of the Democrat Party is nothing but darkness. And you know the great thing is, a lot of you Democrats are saying, we aren't going to live in the darkness anymore. And I commend you for this, because here is what the Democrats have now.
The Democrat message is just a sloppy rehash of every reason they lost: TDS, race, and trans.
Yeah.
Does this sound like the party's learned anything from losing twice to Trump?
No.
Now, if they win, you can expect more lawfare, more DEI, and no borders.
When you have
And we will not allow that to happen.
open borders, which the Democrats are probably going to...
open borders. No open borders. And in fact, I bet
You feel confident about that? If the Democrats, say it's 2028 and
They'll
AOC
open
wins
them
the
up.
presidency.
We know it.
Do you think, or Ossoff, or whoever, Mark Kelly, do you think that the border is going to remain shut? Or do you think there's going to be a massive wave of immigrants that go, oh, Democrat in power, we're flooding the border again?
I do not believe that any serious Democrat running for major office is going to say we should have no borders.
You're high. They are going to do the exact same things they did to try to destroy the country they did during the Biden administration. Don't try to fool yourself. We've got a lot coming up on the show today. We got special guests on the show today. Justine Murray is going to join us. Michael Charbon going to be talking about the trade war with Canada, among other things. The number here is 800-922-6680. This is the Rob Carson Show.
WCBM.
Okay. We can't play it anymore.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
It is the Rob Carson Show. It is Thursday. I was confused. I thought that Labor Day weekend was this weekend. No, I guess it's the next weekend. Kids back in school and everything. My daughter's back in art school and all of that. And fall is upon us, will be upon us. Haven't been bitten by the NFL bug yet. Generally do like to watch a lot of football. Last year was in the process of kind of moving here. Didn't have a lot of friends and certainly no family like I used to. But hopefully we'll be able to dive headfirst into football season. Obviously, having lived in Kansas City for the last 10 years and 3 Super Bowl appearances, my allegiances lean in that direction, particularly since I'm from the Midwest. Don't hold it against me. Don't hold it against me. I live in the D.C. area, and if I had a team to choose between the Washington Redskins, I can't say that. No, I can, because a lot of people really want the Redskins back, or the Ravens. I kind of lean into the Ravens. Because, they're kind of gritty. They're kind of, I don't know. There's something about the Ravens. I just like, and also I like the Edgar Allan Poe, kind of into the Raven, quoth the Raven everlaw. So that's all happening. So top Iowa Democrats are urging Kamala Harris to stay away from their state. 2 of Iowa's most prominent Democrat candidates have urged former Vice President Kamala Harris to stay away from their state ahead of the midterms. Well, I thought she was like, the number one candidate. Right now, real clear politics. Harris currently remains the favorite to win the Democrat nomination in 27.6%. You have no bench. The Democrat Party has no... Kamala Harris, I laughed out loud when they named her the candidate. By the way, Democrats, you haven't had a choice since, I guess, maybe Barack Obama. But you have not had a choice for president since then. You didn't necessarily choose Hillary Clinton. You did not choose Kamala Harris, and you didn't necessarily choose Joe Biden. Your party chose them for you. The same goes with the Republican Party until Donald Trump, by the way. Mitt Romney, who, honestly, yeah, I wanted Mitt Romney to be my candidate. Okay, sure. Mitt Romney, of all the people, sure. Now, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, we want Mitt Romney. No, we didn't want Mitt Romney. Honestly, Mitt Romney, what the hell are you thinking? Who names their kid Mitt Romney? I don't know. Anyway, here is Rob Sands. He is, I guess, running for governor in the state of Iowa. My home state, by the way, my home state.
There's some candidates obviously wouldn't be helpful necessarily to you here, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Would you want to have Joe Biden here campaign for you?
No. Can he even do that right now?
How about Kamala Harris?
No, thanks. Let's move on. We need some new leadership.
Whoa, hold on. Nancy Pelosi said that Joe Biden was the most popular president ever and he deserved to be on Mount Rushmore. 83 million people voted for Joe Biden in 2020, right? Isn't that the case, right? Why in the hell would you not want Joe Biden to come and campaign in the state of Iowa if you're such a great president?
We cheer for Muslim athletes like Kareem and Joan Shingang, Kawawa. Ban on transgender Americans.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate
Great
it.
to have
Walking
you.
up the steps there.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere. It's a very exciting day.
I don't understand why you don't want him campaigning. I don't understand why you don't want Kamala Harris campaigning for you.
I was like, Mommy, the thing about this, I always wanted to go to Howard, and I went to Howard. And actually, it was in February of 2004. Olives with cream cheese on dark rye.
Yeah. Right. Oh, my God.
And so it's remember, I'm a prosecutor. I have focused on.
Did she say prostituter?
That. I mean, in a nutshell.
Yeah. Please make her the candidate in 2028. I get so tired of this mental masturbation about 2028. Dear Lord. Folks, I'm not going to go through this for 2 freaking years. I'm not going to go for two more years. Who's going to be the candidate? Donald Trump's our president. He's kicking butt. There you go. Thank you very much. Jessica Tardlove, she's on the 5. She's the one with the screechy, annoying voice. She is very upset that Donald Trump is the president now. And the reason why Donald Trump is the president now is because serendipity has brought him here at this time. Divine providence has brought him here in this time. You can't say that. Yeah, I can. 250th anniversary of our birth. 25th anniversary of 9/11. They tried to put him in jail. They tried to take him off the ballot. They tried to kill him. And he has arrived here at this time, in this historical moment. He's had 4 years to put together a plan to gut the deep state of its rot, filth, and corruption. And it is. It is rotten, filthy, corrupt, and he's dismantling it. And Jessica Tardlove over here, she is just terribly, terribly upset that Donald Trump is the president now.
That he had. I wish we were done now. I believe without COVID that Trump would have won re-election, and I wish that 100%. He had. I wish we were.
And without the shutting down the counting of the ballots in the 5, battleground states, and then the millions of votes that showed up for, hey, you made your bed, baby.
Done now. Because he, like Ursula, got stronger in those 4 years.
You really are.
He did, because he tried to kill somebody, put him in jail and stuff, and persecute him and stuff. Yeah,
we're really into it. I could also do Beauty and the Beast, but he established a cadre of advisors that
really kicked butt,
understood the challenge.
Yeah.
Like, Russ Vogt wasn't as powerful round 1. Stephen Miller certainly not as powerful.
I know. Stephen Miller is a friggin' general, man. He's like a 5-star general. Yeah.
Project 2025.
Caroline Levitt, too. Dang.
Not a thing, right? And so I hate that we gave them 4 years to take a sledgehammer to the country.
Yeah, no, we're taking the sledgehammer to the corruption and the awfulness, and we're gutting the deep state, and we are saving the Democrat Party by ridding it of the rot, getting rid of those who would want to take down our country. And good Democrats are going to come together to save their party. They are, I believe it. Then we can get back to normal. How's normal sound? Normal would be kind of nice, wouldn't it? Maybe I shouldn't say that. You choose to listen to this show. So, there's that. Michael Charbon, host of the Charbon Report, going to be talking about the trade war with Canada next. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson. When it comes to supplements, 2 things matter most. It works and you can trust it. We hear from people every day whose lives have changed, and we'd like you to hear their stories. At 80 years old, Richard and Paula were tired of aches and discomfort keeping them awake at night. They decided to try Relief Factor, and now they're sleeping through the night again. Paula said she's so impressed, she wanted everybody to know about it. Used to be when I would sleep on my right side, my hip would hurt. I thought it was the mattress. I started taking Relief Factor. The pain went away. They make it easy to find out if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor helps you rest without pain. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll soon be sharing your story with us too. ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. You may not remember every time you toss, turn, or wake up hot, but your body does. That's why you wake up tired before the day even starts. That's why I got a Ghost Bed, the best bed in the history of mankind. Ghost Bed is engineered to help reduce the reasons your sleep gets interrupted. Ghost Bed is designed to relieve pressure, help regulate temperature, support your body. Cooling technology built into every mattress and made in the USA. With Ghost Bed's 101 night trial, you can try it at home because the real test of a mattress is how you feel in the morning. If you're waking up sore or tired before the day even starts, check out Ghost Bed. For a limited time during Ghost Bed's Labor Day sale, they're offering my audience an extra 10% off their lowest prices of the season. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. M.
Society!
Or should we blame the images on TV?
No! Blame Canada! Blame Canada! For the beady little eyes and flapping heads of eyes. Blame Canada! Blame Canada! We need to form a full assault!
Now, here's the reason why we're playing this song as we introduce Michael Charbon. It's because, and it's not what you think, Michael Charbon. By the way, you look damn dapper today. Holy crap. Look at that tie and handkerchief combination. My Lord. Wow.
It's the only way you got to live, brother.
I swear, I got to tell you, I don't particularly care to wear suits at work, but that's beside the point. You look great, by the way. But no, we can't play Great White North by Rush, the band Rush, because we get flagged. We get flagged by ASCAP or ASHAT or whatever the hell the organization is. We can't play Great White North anymore. Brian says we can't play it anymore, is what I'm going to say. So we can't play. That was the song. Ooh, maybe I should just sing it. I don't even know. So that's why I brought up that as an alternative.
Well, I appreciate your effort. I think that was very nice of you. It was funny because Spotify flagged it when I was reposting some of your gold, right? So they kind of had a problem. But Rob, I had an epiphany the other day. With all this, America's ticked off that Canada took all their booze off the shelves. And I mean, Kentucky makes the best bourbon in the world. But I know you don't drink anymore, and I respect that. No. But listen to this. What? Do you know that there are more barrels of bourbon in Kentucky than the population of Kentucky?
Than the population of Kentucky? Really?
There are 10 million barrels of bourbon in Kentucky, and there's 4.5 million people in Kentucky.
That is remarkable.
I just thought I'd share that with you because I know
you better get drinking.
Kernels they excite you.
Well, I used to live in Kentucky, and the art of bourbon making is brilliant. And what it is with any of these distillates, you are taking an old. They are distillates. Thank you very much. Very distillates, and what they are is they take a mash, they take a moonshine essentially, and they put it in a barrel to age, and they use the charcoal burning of the inside of the barrel and time to create this glorious caramel colored thing we call bourbon. And so I know a few things about it. I don't drink it anymore. Occasionally we'll sniff it when someone has it next to me and whatever. And I can appreciate it. But yeah, you drink for me. How does that sound? Sound like a good idea?
My goodness, a kernel of information. We have a 10-minute segment from Rob Carson about MASH. Jeez,
I am can I tell you right now? Listen, I am a Renaissance man. You have to realize this. I am an expert in home improvement. I am an expert in cooking, and I am an expert in cigars. I am an expert in wine. I am an expert in all of these. I am. I just am. I'm not lying.
This is why you and I get along. My father was a French chef. I'm a gourmet chef, and I am a French wine connoisseur. So you and I could probably be locked in a round room for about a day and survive.
If you ever make it down here, we got to collaborate on a meal because I'm a damn good chef as well. Not a chef. I'm not a chef. I'm not that, but I'm a damn good cook. So here's what I'm hearing about this trade war, and I'm not pinning this on Canada. I'm pinning it on Mark Carney. Mark Carney is a giant. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a French word for it. Oh yeah,
leader.
turd. No, he's not. He's not a leader. What he is he's working with American Democrats to try to C-block Donald Trump going to the midterms. That's what this is all about. No, it is not. He doesn't give a crap. If he gave a crap about Canada, he'd be lowering taxes. He'd be doing all the things that need to be done in Canada, but he's a friggin' globalist.
No, it's that's beaver dandruff. I'm sorry, Rob Carson. I love you dearly and respect you. So here's the deal.
Have you been hitting the sauce already today? What's the deal here? What, really?
I'm going to give you the lowdown. Jameson Greer, who's the ambassador for the United States, and Dominic LeBlanc, who's the minister for Canada, they got together. On Tuesday of last week, Mark Carney and President Trump got together and we had a deal. Jameson Greer is blaming the Canadians for coming back with a change to the deal, and the Canadians are blaming the Americans for coming back with a change to the deal. So here's what could have probably happened. They could have come to a consensus, and then all of a sudden, you have a problem that Carney can't sell the deal that's done. Then it was said that could potentially, when Lutnick came in, he wouldn't be able to verify the deal going back to Trump. So this Fortress North America, I'm almost finished, is in a situation of flux. The Canadians walked away from the table. The Americans are waiting for an invite. Trust me, both of us want a deal. We want to get this done before the midterms, and the Canadians want to get back to doing business. So this is all malarkey. This is politics.
You need to get a new prime minister. Stop having these soy boys, these globalists as your prime minister. For goodness' sake, you ought to have a proud prime minister who's decent, like Poilievre. He would be Poilievre, however you pronounce his name. If he was the dude, if he was the prime minister, we wouldn't have any problems. I'm going
to tell you something. He's been very quiet in the last little while because Carney has got over 75% of support of the country because Carney is standing up and not, other than China, Canada was the only country with retaliation against the United States. And that was the booze thing. That's what I started off with.
Your prime minister bedded down with the Chinese Communist Party and called them the New World Order. He's in their pants, dude. And that's why I don't like this jackass Carney.
So here's the problem. We were 75% dependent. We were 75% dependent on your economy. We respect that. There are lots of things that you are dependent on us, and we work together. This problem that we had with the Chinese really comes, the stemming point is those 49,000 EVs. And it still stands that if a Canadian tries to cross into America with a Chinese EV, they will not be allowed in. So
we have tire spikes. We have tire spikes like when you're trying to, when you leave the parking lot and you go over the tire spikes. Well, that's what we have in Canada between the United States and Canada when an EV comes across.
Thank God you don't drink anymore. That's all I got to say.
I'm more fun when I don't drink, Michael.
I heard that.
But why did John Podesta meet with Carney, Obama, and George Soros May 2026 in Toronto? Why are they chumming around here before the midterms?
Because Podesta had a speaking engagement, so he decided to connect.
Yeah, sure. Connect with George Soros and Obama. Okay. Yeah, that's a good team. Sorry, I don't trust your prime minister, and you shouldn't either, because he is in the pants of the Chinese Communist Party.
No, he's not. We had a problem with the Chinese. We don't forget we were the ones that held up the Huawei person for over 2 years in Canada. We also charged a whole bunch of liberals, or they were conceivably accused of being influenced by the Chinese government. We're very well aware of the Chinese government and what they are. We are more interested in working with our friends and our colleagues and our business associates in the United States, because Fortress North America could be a really dominant force. We just got to get past all this politics.
Well, and we've also got to get a prime minister in there who knows what the hell they're doing, isn't some sort of a globalist soy boy from hell. Honestly, you need a testosterone injection up there. You need to get back to being Canada, for God's sake, instead of being Quebec. Honestly, it's about time you got represented by somebody in the heartland, not Quebec or Vancouver.
Well, you see, Canada is a multicultural country.
So are we.
I know, but I think we have
a little bit more than you guys. We're a little bit more than you guys because we've been doing it for a couple hundred years.
Well, okay, so we'll attest to that. I'm going to tell you that we are a social democratic society. We believe in free health care. We believe in safety nets, and we are only 41. We are only 41 million people compared to your 340.
And we're the greatest individual and economic freedom in the history of mankind that dwarfs every economy in the world. But other than that,
okay, and you're also the most powerful military. But I will tell you that some of the minerals and things that are contained in Canada are vital to supply and power your economy.
I got you. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break and come back. And again, the tie, love the handkerchief. Okay. And I got some other things I want to cover on the other side of the break, including the NHL and the NFL as well. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. I love giving him shit. This is my theme song. You'll understand.
There is no more incredible man on this earth.
I don't know who chose that theme song.
That's you getting out of your Bronco.
That is me getting out of my Bronco. Thank you very much.
I can just see you moving.
Oh, brother. You know what? I would. We got to take you for a ride in the Bronco. Listen to some good old American rock and roll. You know, like Led Zeppelin. Oh, wait. No, they're from Great Britain.
You like to throw daggers in the night and pray that you hit something, and generally you do. That's what's scary.
Here's the thing. So you don't know this, and this is the first time I'm telling you this.
Okay.
The lineage of my father.
Yes.
were, are you ready for this? Canadian fur trappers who came to the United States. Did you know that?
There is goodness in you. There it is.
There is that. See, my relatives, a lot like they love to hunt beaver, and that was one of the things they did. And they moved to the Midwest of the United States, and they tilled the soil, and they built the crops, and they fed the world. That's because my father's name is Dubout. It's the Français. But that's what Canada used to be. Rugged men in canoes.
We still are
chasing beaver. They were.
Speaking of chasing beaver, no, let's not go there. But
no, that's not.
There's nothing. It's practically a national. It's a national animal other than a moose.
I have trapped a few.
Hey, did you hear about that? That was the other thing I wanted to say to you. The Strait of Hormuz. That was the Canadian media's kind of jab to the problem that we're having. The Strait of Hormuz. See, we can always drag beaver and moose into something to make it.
I want to mention something real quick, and I'm kind of ticked about this because the CBC sucks. By the way, the CBC sucks. Do not mention 9/11 as terror attacks. According to the CBC, ahead of the 25th anniversary of 9/11, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation has reportedly circulated a memo to reporters and editors. Do not refer to the September the 11th attacks as terrorists. Was first reported by Canadian journalist Warren Kinsella, who received the memo and then confirmed by the National Post, which also received a copy. According to a screenshot of the memo shared by Kinsella, the memo was authored by Basim Bashra, Senior Director and Journalistic Standards at Public Trust at CBC News. The hijackings led by passengers jets in Washington, D.C. Don't refer them as terrorists. Did you hear about that?
So I know Warren Kinsella personally. I've dealt with him in political realms, in municipal politics. This is a gentleman who finds things that are not necessarily what people want to hear, but is a truth that is being, how should one say, suppressed. The CBC is funded by the Liberal government. The CBC has always trended on being more kind and less accusational. And sometimes one can see that position clouding fact. How's that for a political statement?
Well, you danced around the fact that they're a leftist propaganda organization like NPR was, but we defunded NPR. Thank you very much.
So you see, what the CBC did was it still champions Canadian programming and Canadian identity. If we did not have, as Canadians, the CBC, we would be basically drowned by American media. Your stuff is good. True. We see your channels. There's even syndicated radio programs that stream on the web that are extremely entertaining, but they come from the States with a guy who has Canadian roots. So we still are entertained, but if it was not for the CBC, we would basically have a problem trying to maintain our identity.
What's a good show? What's your favorite show on the CBC?
Power and Politics, because there is an element of in-depth discussion. So you get, like, for instance, they had Jameson Greer yesterday was the exclusive on CBC, and they've re-aired it many times. So you're able to see what the ambassador to the United States had to say, and they had an exclusive on that. So they are very good with news.
All right, so let's move on here before we wrap things up about a minute here. You mentioned the NFL and NHL beginning soon. My team actually for hockey is the St. Louis Blues. I live in D.C. I'll follow the Capitals. I love the Capitals too. As far as football, I lived in Kansas City for 10 years and 3 Super Bowls. So what do you think?
I'm a diehard Toronto Maple Leafs fan. I've been born, bred, and raised where it's been since 1960. I think it's 67 since we've had a Stanley Cup. We have probably one of the best records for sellout in our arena, and the ownership is excellent. We just got a new leader in there, Keith Pelly, who's straightening things out for us. And as far as the NFL is concerned, I've got to go to the Buffalo Bills. You know what? I just can't help it. I think they're fantastic. I love the Patriots for the longest time, but I just can't help it. I think the Bills, I'm hoping that the Bills are going to do it this year.
Well, the good thing about the Bills, Green Bay, Kansas City, they're all mid-sized markets that have massive support for their teams. If you go to Kansas City is America's biggest high school on a Friday before game day. I swear to God, everybody wears. You could be in surgery, and the doctor who is he'd be wearing a Chiefs jersey.
The funniest thing I ever saw, quick story, was when I was at the Buffalo Bills. We're coming out of the stadium after we stayed. We had a couple of beers, and the parking lot is steaming, and it smells like they just laid asphalt. Everybody put all their coals on the asphalt. So my God, I couldn't believe it, but what a party.
It is. All right, brother. Tell everybody where they can check out your glorious program and web presence.
MichaelACharbon.com. I'm also on TikTok, Spotify, and LinkedIn. And you can find me on X at Michael A. Charbon. And I was on Newsmax this morning as well. So,
Very good.
And I love to be on the Rob Carson Show every Thursday.
Well, you look damn good, and you always outdress me, darn you. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Thanks, Rob.
I respect their teams. Respect their teams. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. I'll just tell you, got a great call today from Johns Hopkins Hospital, and I have a concurrence from several organizations that say go forward with the treatment that one doctor is recommending. So everybody agrees it's the thing that's going to win. So so we have a battle plan. I wanted to know that. Last night I did a broadcast on Instagram, and then I asked people to come forward if they were experiencing crises or whatever, so we could all come together and offer support and prayer for people, because that's what I want to do. Is I want to share my experience, and I want to help others who are suffering. And last night I spoke to a woman. She says she's suffering severe anxiety, and we all came together on that chat on Instagram to support her, and it meant a lot. So that's what I'm going to do. My goal here on this show has always been to entertain, inform, and motivate people to do good. And it's also to witness and hopefully inspire. I'll do my best. That's my goal. You guys on the chat, you know this. We're all here for each other. We are all here for each other. I am no better than anyone else. Deplorable Dinosaur, America Marcy, all you guys, you are my brothers and sisters. And we're in this together.
Yeah, about 3 minutes here, 3:15.
This is not an EV. And it never will be. All righty. So we're going to be getting into the Democrat Party now is trying to distance itself from the DSA. I told you that the DSA would not win nationally. And the reason why I know this is because I have faith in the American people. And you could say, but young people and this and that and that. Well, you know what? Young people ain't in charge right now. We are. And so I have faith in the American people. I have faith in those, because we should have never been able to come back from what they threw at us between 2018 and 2024. Censorship, surveillance, deplatforming, burning down the country, tearing down our statues, kneeling during the national anthem, creating a race riot out of nothing, trying to burn down St. John's Church in D.C. Not many republics can survive such an attack, but we did. And guess what? All you did was piss us off. So we ain't going to turn it over to the DSA. The DSA and the Democrat Party is now like, oh boy, man, we have really stepped in it because I mean, we just decided, we started off within Maine with Graham Plattner, and the Democrat Party's like, oh my gosh, we got somebody I think you could win. He's manly. He looks like a real man. He's got a mustache. He's an oyster farmer. whatever the hell that is. Nobody in Maine knows what an oyster farmer is. And then he had a Nazi tattoo on his chest. They're like, we don't even care. And he demeaned Purple Heart and said, we don't even care. And he's a communist. We don't even care. And he sexually assaulted a woman. And we don't even care. Oh, wait, he's 3 points behind? Crap. Let's get rid of him. And now they've moved on. And they've accepted a guy who's married his cousin, and his children are his second cousins. And they've got a Democrat socialist in Florida. They've got a Democrat socialist in Michigan, and all of these people want to get rid of the Senate, and all of these people want socialized medicine that we have rejected time and time again. And all of them want to get rid of the border, and all of them want to privatize, take over private businesses, and all of them want to get rid of the police, and all of them want to get rid of the prisons, and they're insane. And now the Democrat Party is going to go forward into November trying to reject all of this, even though these people are still their candidates. And it's not going to work. Democrats have stepped in it big time. It's soft and squishy. It's coming up between their toes, and it's got to go over their heads by November. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
The Rob Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus. You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit ReliefFactor.com today.
Do you know what this is? By the way, this is the Rob Carson Show. Normally we have an introduction to the show, Brian, and I was going to use this as bumper music, but I'll just make it the introduction to the show. This is out in front of Buckingham Palace, the royal family honoring Dolly Parton. What a phenomenal thing to do. Joining me in the Newsmax studio here in Washington, D.C. is Hilary Fordwich, who is an expert on all things Great Britain, and I thought that was a fitting kind of introduction for you today.
Thank you very much, Rob. Actually, smashing to be here with you.
You
and
too.
With regard to the Coldstream Guard, of course, honouring Dolly Parton, I will say the first real time that the royal family became, shall we say, somewhat hip with modern society was when it became so big in England. When England was in the World Cup, this was many years ago, and there was a very famous song, It's Coming Home, and everybody across England was singing it. And when the Coldstream Guards played that, I think that was the beginning of this, having them honor things that are in more popular culture than ever before. And very importantly, something that most Americans don't know, the first time, though, was when the Queen, which was absolutely the first time in history after 9/11, the then Queen Elizabeth had the Coldstream Guard play the Star-Spangled Banner. And that was in honor of the Americans that died on 9/11. That I thought was very touching. And there's old footage. You can actually go back and see Americans standing watching them with tears strolling down their eyes and regular tourists.
By the way, I didn't do a formal introduction. Hilary Fordwich, Newsmax contributor, public speaker, GBN contributor. What else am I missing? I mean, there's a million things you do. Go ahead.
Well, you're right. Lots of that. GB News is the number one watched show in the UK now.
I love it.
Sky News Australia also. And then I'm a keynote speaker and I speak around the nation.
I love it.
Bottom line, I have a consulting firm. I speak on business development, how to grow your business. You want to gain or retain clients, I'm here for you.
All right, very good. So we've got a few things we need to talk about. Obviously, the 25th anniversary of 9/11 is coming up.
Yes.
Can you believe that? Can you believe that is happening? Where were you on 9/11, 2000?
Actually, it's very vivid to me because I always know how old my youngest son is from it because he's 25. He was born November 13th. And
my son is November 15th.
I knew we had sons very same age. I didn't know same birthday.
No, 99 though.
99.
So he was 18 months old when it happened.
18 months old.
Yours 20 in 2001.
Yes, that's right. And so I remember thinking he's safe in my womb, and I had two other children. But that day I was actually working. I was at a firm in Tyson's, and I'll never forget from the office, our offices in Tyson's, people in their offices were screaming because you could see the smoke coming up from the Pentagon. We'd already heard about the plane going into the World Trade Centers, and this is what young people today I don't think appreciate, and people don't really focus on. Today, we know what it was in isolation, as ghastly as it was. That day, we did not know if this was the Russians, the Chinese. We didn't know if we were going to be invaded. We didn't know if we were going to see parachutes coming out of the sky. We did not know what it was, and that was terrifying.
I was not.
I wish we were done.
Pardon 1 second. I've got a piece of audio playing, and I don't. I was not in Washington D.C. It must have been mayhem. I've talked to many of my friends because I lived here for a dozen years, starting in 2004. It must have been so disorienting for everyone here.
But I have to tell you something very, very special. As an American by choice, that happened that day. So here am I in Tyson's. I'm heavily pregnant. I'm about to have my baby in a couple of weeks. I had two young children that were back in Maryland, and my only thought was I have to get home to those other two children. Whatever's going to happen, if the world's going to end, I've got to get to my children. People in the Washington, D.C. area, and I'm sure across America, you know what it's like on major highways at rush hour, and the traffic's terrible, and people can be rude, they cut in and out, and there are accidents. I literally thought it was going to be Armageddon on the Beltway. Let me tell you something very, very, very special, and I would like to ask the National Transport if there's a statistic on this. Do you know that day, when I got to the Beltway, it makes me want to tear up saying this. Everyone, let me repeat that, everyone was doing the speed limit. No one was cutting anyone else off. People were letting me come in. And I want to know, were there any accidents that day? Everybody was lovely to everyone else. I was so surprised and so joyous about that. So in any tragedy or anything in life, I always look at what are the blessings.
Yeah.
To me, the spirit of the American public, the way people treated each other, we were all in it together that day. And that, I think, was very special.
You know Chris Plant, he's nationally syndicated, and he hosted a show on Newsmax.
He likes it when I call him Mr. Plant.
Mr. Plant, yes. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for many years.
He's very dear.
He was a Pentagon correspondent for CNN at the time, and he felt the heat of the implosion of the plane because he was almost at work.
Gosh.
And he saw the flash and he felt the heat, and unbelievable. I was in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was a new father of a son who was 18 months old, and I was off the air. I just got off the air, and my boss said, "Go in." I was doing music morning radio show. Go back in and cover things. The Pentagon is just the building just flew into the air. A plane flew into one of the Trade Center towers, and I thought, and I was hoping it was like a cargo plane or a UPS plane or a small plane or whatever.
No one knew.
And as I'm watching television, I see another plane hit, and that's when everything changed.
And that's what they
obviously.
planned. They planned they knew all the cameras would be trailing on the first building, and they planned it on the date 9/11. Call 911.
United American.
Yes.
United and American planes.
Yep.
This was our generation's Pearl Harbor. My father was a World War II veteran, and he would do the 1,000-yard stare when he talked about Pearl Harbor.
Oh, yes.
And he felt that horror.
Yes.
It was that horror, and I will never forget the people jumping from the buildings. I will never forget it, and Gen Z will never appreciate this. It's still raw. We will never ever forget that.
No.
I'm glad we could talk about that. I'm not sure how we got into that, but I do. This is a very big year. It's a big 250th anniversary of America, 25th anniversary of 9/11. A really bad time for the DSA and Islamist candidates to be thinking they're going to take over the country.
Yes, absolutely. And I will say, with regard to the DSA, though, they're probably one of the greatest gifts that's happened to the Republican Party anytime soon. But this is one thing I will say. When I always think that when people talk about when President Trump won the election, I always say he didn't just beat President Biden. He didn't just beat the Democratic machine. No. He didn't just beat social media. What he beat was the educational institutions in our nation.
Yes.
And not just here, by the way. It's the same thing's happening in the UK, where they've gone so far left. They no longer teach students how to think. They teach them what to think. And so I actually don't blame young people if this is what you've had your whole life. And one of the things I've always loved, did you ever hear what Ronald Reagan said about if you want to make sure that your children don't end up being Democrats? He said, ask one of your children to clean the bathroom. Tell them you'll pay $10, and when they finish cleaning the bathroom, give them $5. When they say, "Where's my other $5?" Say, "I gave it to your brother or sister," and they'll say, "But I clean the bathroom." Welcome to the Republican Party.
That's really funny. We had friends, and they, when my kids were little, they had a son, wanted to babysit for me, and I said, "I'm going to pay you," I think it was $5 or $7 an hour, and he said he wanted $10 or $12 an hour, and I said, "Here's the deal. I'm taking out state tax, federal tax, Social Security, and there you go. Congratulations." And they went nuts. They were my liberal friends who don't talk to me anymore because I'm a Donald Trump supporter. They do not talk to me anymore. I
hope they're housing illegals then, otherwise they're hypocrites.
Well, they are, honestly.
Yeah, like all of them.
Forget it. And honestly, I'm better off without them. So let's talk what's going on in Great Britain with Prince Harry. Going back to the, and by the way, thanks, I think property values have already started to come up in the United States because of that. But there's some stuff going on there. We got about 3 minutes to talk, and then we'll come on to the outside of break.
Yes.
But set me up on this. What's going on with him going back to Great Britain?
Well, there are many factors here, but one of the most important ones from an American perspective is actually Niall Gardner, who's a dear friend, but he was Margaret Thatcher's former aide. He heads the Heritage Foundation. And for years, he's been trying to have made public the visa records, because when Prince Harry applied for his American visa, you cannot be admitted into the US and have a visa if you consume drugs. And in his book, Wine Spare, he declared and bragged about all the drug consumption. Wow. So he was either lying in his book or lying on the visa, in which case his visa will be revoked.
So he'll never be allowed to come back to the United States?
He will not be allowed to live here. No. And so that's one of the issues.
That's
is that
the best
he's not
news
allowed.
I've heard all day.
He was, and this is about to implode. So that's one of the reasons they've left.
What?
Yes.
That's the reason?
That's one of them. Wow. The other reason is, as a businesswoman, I will say this, and every member of our audience knows this, and so do you very well, Rob. No one, let me repeat that, no one leaves anything where they're a success. If Meghan Markle was a big success in terms of selling jam, or with Netflix, or with her show, or with anything she's done in Hollywood, if they had been part of the Hollywood celebrity set, if they'd been accepted and it was going beautifully, swimmingly well, they wouldn't have left. So it's also due to the failure of their activities in California. And then, of course, there's the draw of the royal family, just the stability. All you do is dedication to duty, and it's
Yes.
there.
Yes.
He will not be part of the senior royals. They will not be accepted back in senior role positions anytime soon.
Wow.
But there's the draw of that stability, and he's been leaning on
Wow.
his father for money.
All right, very good. Let's take a break and come back, if you don't mind. We're talking to Hilary Fordwich, and we'll take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. CBM. Good. Love it. Here we go.
Got to rejoin.
Okay.
Who would not want voter ID? Only somebody that wants to cheat.
When the media and the left try to manufacture a relationship between David Duke and President Trump, he never campaigned with him, he wasn't seen with him, he condemned him, they had no relationship, yet the media still tried to paint him as associated with David Duke. What's the difference between David Duke and Hassan Piker when you look at some of the things that he has said, whether it's talking about downplaying the rapes on October 7th, saying it didn't matter if the rapes happened, America deserved 9/11, talking about how with landlords let the streets soak in their capitalist blood, talking about killing Rick Scott as well, saying Hamas is 1,000 times better than Israel. The list goes on. And you don't have to manufacture a relationship between some of these leftist politicians and him. They've campaigned with him. They've appeared on his show. They've taken pictures with him. We're talking about El Sayed running in Michigan, or Zohran Mamdani, or AOC, or Bernie Sanders. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, they all bedded down with this demonic individual, and now all of a sudden they're running just like they did with Plattner.
Yeah.
Isn't that remarkable? Hilary Fordwich joining me, by the way, a Newsmax contributor, GBN contributor, public speaker. But they're all of a sudden, it's real panic. They kind of ghosted him beginning last week, and now they're completely disassociating from Hassan Piker and literally saying, you can't campaign on this. Like, no, you already made your bet on this one.
They already campaigned on this, and what I really love is that the video doesn't lie.
Too little, too late.
Sorry. Hold on one second. I apologize. Let me kill this real quick here. Apologize. When I have two cameras and I switch back, the audio automatically fires if I have it selected. Go ahead.
That's all right. No worries. You're doing a great job managing it, juggling everything.
I run everything.
Juggling everything.
Yes.
But I would say this, that I think that the best thing about TV and media and even podcasts, anything, is that it's there for posterity.
Yes.
There used to be the expression de rigueur years ago, before we had all these podcasts, but it was if you don't want to have it
forever.
Printed in the Washington Post, then don't say it. I would say if you don't want something to haunt you for the rest of your life, then don't say it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really I think is important about this Hassan Piker issue is the politicians that do succeed are those with a true north. Ronald Reagan had a true north.
Of course.
We know President Trump has a true north. How do we know? Because you can see the clips back to 1984 where he was talking about the bad trade deals that were being done. He was talking about the fact that our hostages have been taken, that they hate us in Iran. So he's been consistent. So it's very easy. He doesn't care day to day what the polls are up, the polls are down. He's got his true north to do good for this country. That's the difference between that and somebody who wobbles in the wind.
I want you to hear Debbie Dingell. She is now acting like Hassan Piker doesn't matter, the affiliation with, we're not running on Hassan Piker, but there's nothing they can do about it. They've made their bed.
I'm done. So don't any reporter ask me again about Hassan Piker. It's not what November is
Too bad.
about.
And he accused politicians and pundits of trying to make this race about a Twitch streamer.
It's not.
Are you satisfied with how El Sayed has handled this uproar?
Look, I'm going to say this to you. I'm tired of people trying to drag me into it. I strongly disagree with many of the things that Hassan Piker has said, from Israel to, quite frankly, if you're a woman who has fought against sexual violence and domestic violence her whole life, what he has said about rape, etc., is simply inexcusable.
I think for a lot of us, like Hassan Piker is a streamer in California. You would think, if you turned on any media, that this whole campaign is about a streamer in California.
That is Abdul El Sayed, who stood poolside the day before Sayed barely squeaked by, winning that. Glad handing him.
Yes.
And now he's acting, he's just a streamer. They're friends. They are brothers in arms against America.
That's absolutely right. And I think there's more brothers in arms against America. The DSA, what they've said, that's going to come back. That's been replayed I don't know how many times, that they want to abolish the Senate. They want to abolish the police force. They want to abolish ICE. And meanwhile, they're living under the protection and the safety that all of that provides. So my big line in everything is, who are hypocrites? And I think a lot of these politicians are hypocrites.
Well, the Democrat Party is so bloody desperate, they would nominate the devil himself if they thought he could win. And this is absolutely true. They did that with us with Graham Plattner. Graham Plattner, it should have stopped at Nazi tattoo, but they went all the way to rape allegations, and the thing that changed it was he was behind by 3. That's it. Hassan Piker, or not Hassan Piker, but Abdul Al Sayed was an attempted late-term abortion. They tried to get him before, and he just survived, didn't he?
Yes.
And now they're stuck with him. And they're trying to now erase everything that makes him unelectable. And it's not going to work.
No, you can't. And it was one thing when we had the mainstream media, and CNN at one point I thought started out being a news network, and then they referred to it as the Clinton News Network or the Communist News Network. Yes. But likewise, all of the in quotes mainstream media has really gone very far left, and we've got the more right-leaning media. But it doesn't matter about the mainstream media, because now, like your podcast, Rob, and all the independent voices, you can't shut this sort of thing down. You used to be able to control it, but you can't anymore.
My show, my podcast, in the news category, beats NBC Nightly News.
Yes. Yes.
And Jen Psaki. I mean, because, listen, I'm not a news person, but I'm not here to lie. I don't mess with statistics. I don't mess with stories. I tell the truth.
And you're not doing the bidding of someone else, importantly.
No. By the way, you live in Maryland. This is a big victory. Maryland judge blocks Democrats' redistricting effort. What they wanted to do was the same thing they tried to do in Virginia with Abigail Scambergler. They tried to take away all Republican representation. I mean, by a hair's width, they saved Maryland, because Maryland was right there with no Republican representation whatsoever, and this judge apparently ended that, at least for now.
Yes, well, it was immensely tight. I think something else that's very interesting about Maryland, and actually a lot of our country, do you know, if you take out the counties of Montgomery County, right by D.C., and you take out Baltimore, basically, actually, it's a red state. It's just the demographic overload near the major city. And by the way, it's the same in California.
With New Jersey, it's the same way with every major liberal population center.
Correct. And the same thing in California. People say actually would be Democratic. And I love it when you drive in Maryland, because, like you said, I live in Maryland. Yeah. I'm a golfer. So if I go somewhere to golf, you just see, I remember seeing so many farmers for Trump all over the state, the whole state, except for, right down here by where I live.
One of the greatest states that I absolutely love, if they just would stop electing idiots, is Pennsylvania.
Oh, lovely, yes.
Pennsylvania is absolutely gorgeous. I love driving up there, Shenandoah Valley, seeing the old barns with the tobacco, advertisements from the early 20s, hanging out there, and the Amish country, all of this. The only thing that makes it crap are the people who, run Philadelphia.
Yes.
And whatnot. And it's a shame. But, I wonder if, for instance, maybe some in Maryland have had just about enough. You had a bridge collapse 2.5 years ago. You have a governor who hasn't even been able to get the damn thing salvaged so they can start building again, plus the highest utility rates in the entire country and all of this. Do you suppose that people in Maryland maybe are getting to the point where they've had enough?
Unfortunately, when you mentioned your friends that you've now disassociated yourself with, or they have with you, I just think that there is Trump derangement syndrome, and I do think we're a sanctuary state, and there are some people who they're hypocrites because they're not housing the illegals themselves and never going to change.
Democrats in Maryland are the frogs in the boiling water.
Yes.
They're the frogs in the boiling water, and no matter what you tell them, and I drove by this mall called White Flint Mall, and it's been out of business for 10 years. You know what it is? It's a hole in the ground now. There was another mall near my home, literally went out of business 12 years ago, sat there abandoned until last year when I moved here, covered with graffiti. Nothing. That's Maryland.
Yes.
You drive across into Virginia, it's Oz. It's Oz, I swear. That's why I chose Virginia.
And look at the bridge, the American Legion Bridge, the bridge for our listeners that are elsewhere that goes from Maryland to Virginia. On the Virginia side, they've widened it. The roads are fantastic. There's no potholes. You get to the Maryland side and you can see it's a tangible difference.
We've got to run. Hilary Fordwich, tell everybody where they can find your glorious presence.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rob. Appreciate that. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on X, and my name is Hilary Fordwich, 1L. And I will say this: if you ever need a keynote speaker or anyone to address and help you grow your business, I'm here for you.
And the witch is spelled W-I-C-H.
No T. I have no broomstick. I'm not one of them.
I love it. All right, good to have you today. Let's take a break and come
Smashing.
back.
Thank you, Rob.
This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, two things matter most. It works and you can trust it. We hear from people every single day whose lives have been changed, and we'd like you to hear their stories. Rebecca was hesitant at first, but she discovered how easy Relief Factor makes it to adjust or cancel anytime. Now she says her knee pain is better. She doesn't rely on other pain relievers, and she tells everyone it's absolutely worth it. Rebecca is just one of many. I am as well. My hips used to hurt at night when I sleep. No more, ladies and gentlemen. They make it easy to find out if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor is absolutely worth it. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Yep, $17.76. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll be sharing your story with us, too. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. You may not remember every time you toss, turn, or wake up hot, but your body does. That's why you wake up tired before the day even starts. That's why I got a Ghost Bed, the best bed in the history of mankind. Ghost Bed is engineered to help reduce the reasons your sleep gets interrupted. Ghost Bed is designed to relieve pressure, help regulate temperature, support your body. Cooling technology built into every mattress and made in the USA. With Ghost Bed's 101 night trial, you can try it at home because the real test of a mattress is how you feel in the morning. If you're waking up sore or tired before the day even starts, check out Ghost Bed. For a limited time during Ghost Bed's Labor Day sale, they're offering my audience an extra 10% off their lowest prices of the season. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson.
Well, Mr. President, from one fat pig to another, take it from me that physical fitness is very important. And trust me, you'll be happy to see your again.
That is Jelly Roll, calls himself Jelly Roll, and He's taking a lot of heat for the monologuing he's done against Donald Trump. Joining us to talk about this, I'm certainly going to want her opinion on it, is Justine Murray. She is a media personality. She is a force of nature, and she's joining us on the Newsmax hotline. How are you today?
I'm good, Rob. It's always great to speak with you.
So you know what bothered me about his comments? A, they were pretty vitriolic. He was reading someone else's words. But you know his song, Hard Fought Hallelujah, has meant so much to me in my life the last few months. And it was a real shame to see him bed down with the people in Hollywood who probably don't believe in God, who do not have the same sense of redemption that he does. And I think that he really kind of betrayed those of us who look to him and his story of redemption as an inspiration. What do you think?
And he proved to be like the rest of them, like the rest of the Hollywood elites, the go-alongs, as if his story about redemption was maybe never even true. But he clearly Dixie-chicked himself. I'll give him one tiny point for at least being a little self-aware, because after he said that about President Trump seeing a schmeckle, then he acknowledged his own schmeckle is very teeny-weeny, which is apparently
Anytime you can work some Yiddish in, you just keep it coming, girl, because I'm fluent. I'm fluent, by the way. It's a second language to me. But I want you to hear him. This is him last night.
So for those who threatened to stop listening to my music based on my comments last night, I just want to say with conviction, go right ahead, because I'm going to keep speaking my truth, or my name isn't Post Malone.
Okay, there you go. So obviously not feeling too much about it. I guess, I don't know. It just means, I don't know, if you're going to sing Hard Fought Hallelujah and you're going to talk about how Jesus saved you and all of this, and to use, to bed down with the forces of just darkness in Hollywood and say such things. It's not about the insulting Donald Trump. People do that every day. But right. What have we been led to believe about this guy?
Well, he clearly has, along with the teeny-weeny schmeckle, he has no balls. Or he chopped them off, which is apparently a requirement, along with kissing the ring in order to score a B-list position as fill-in for Jimmy Kimmel. None of those people have a leg to stand on. And then you think about Dolly Parton, how she actually moved mountains for what I call actual country music, actual music. She was for everybody. She loved everybody. She did not kiss the ring either which way, and she actually moved mountains just so some whiny pork roll dressed in prison tats or deli roll. I call him Taylor Ham because that's where I'm from.
This is why you're so great, Justine. You are like Joan Rivers at 25 years old, or however old you are. I swear to God, you really get it. You get the whole thing. Now, Dolly Parton's passing. A lot of times we talk about where Gen Z, where boomers were, whatever. We were all raised in different decades, so I don't necessarily ascribe to a specific generation. But her reach was amazing. I mean, over decades, people born in various decades, even people your age, her music, her words. I heard a friggin' hip hop song the other day. They wrote the whole song around 9 to 5.
It's so incredible that her influence. It takes a rare singer, a rare legend whose influence can surpass genres. A lot of people are simply one-note Johnnies. But as you said, I heard a story actually this morning about how she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but she didn't want to be. She refused at first because she said, well, wait a minute, I'm a country singer, and she didn't want to take, this is how humble she was, unlike everyone else who seems to be a so-called pop star today, how humble she was that she didn't want to be inducted because she didn't want to take the place of someone whom she considered an actual rock singer. So what she did is she eventually accepted it, but she wrote a rock song. She wanted to earn it first, earn the position first, which is something that it's so inspiring.
You know what I like about her, and she was a feminist, but she embraced her femininity. She didn't embrace the ugliness of radical leftist feminism. She was as strong and influential as any woman or any feminist without giving up the beauty of and listen, there's nothing. You know, I like to be considered masculine as much as you like to be considered feminine, and you shouldn't feel ashamed for being either one. What do you think?
Well, the irony, and I won't even call it irony of the left, because I think it's their intended consequence. They preach that feminism in the name of being a strong, empowered woman, that you have to rid your traditional femininity, a.k.a. apparently being feminine and embracing the traditional parts that come with being a woman. That makes you somehow weak, which is so opposite of what they pretend to preach.
Are you kidding me? Of course that's true. My wife and I, we had an equal relationship. I was the guy who built stuff. She was the person who told me what to do with it. But no, it's a dance. It's a dance. It's a dance, isn't it? Isn't it, Justine? It is a dance. And listen, nothing against men. There are men who are feminine. There are women who are masculine. But there's nothing also wrong with the dance that we do, masculinity and femininity. And Dolly Parton was brilliant. Let's move on. I haven't been covering this Lindsay Clancy story because I feel like it's deeply personal. I don't feel like I have to have an opinion on everything that you know, and so I've kind of stayed away from it. What are your thoughts on this trial, on her killing her 3 children, the cocktail of chemicals that she was on, this postpartum psychosis possibility? What do you think?
Yeah, I think there are a few stories that actually make me physically ill. October 7th was one, the murder of Charlie was the other, and this is, I would say, the third one, because you have this army of women. The left essentially has made it mainstream and trendy to not just defend a murderer, but to hold up your babies on TikTok like sacrificial lambs and say, same, Lindsay, same. They're treating her like a folk hero, just like they treated Luigi Mangione, just like they're trying to treat Tyler Robinson. The left is a death cult, and they're the ones who proclaim to be the party of social justice. To them, social justice, that phrase, it's as just as war is peace, as ignorance is strength, because in the name of social justice, you apparently have to make those human sacrifices, and the left is the ideology at its core of the left. If you disagree with them, you're an existential threat. If you pose a minor or any type of inconvenience to them, your existence is an existential threat. Having kids to the left, to the so-called, I would say the fifth wave feminists, that's considered an inconvenience.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to liberal women,
yeah,
there are no men who fall in love with female death row inmates. There are no men falling in love with people like what's his name, Mangione in New York. There are no men who are Manson family followers. There's a mania. The Salem witch trials were young women under the influence of whatever. And this is I guess a part of the toxic femininity of the left. And it doesn't happen largely with men. Generally, the men on the left are just soy boys. Let's take a break and come back. More with Justine Murray on the other side of the break. This is the Rob Carson Show.
In Harford County.
Remember 9/11. Shut up. Go back to Auschwitz. Remember 9/11. You know?
Yeah. That's Hassan Piker. He was poolside holding a drink next to Abdul al-Sayed before Abdul al-Sayed became the Democrat candidate for Senate in the state of Michigan. And now every Democrat is doing their level best to say, this isn't about Hassan Piker. This election is not about Hassan Piker, because they know they bedded down with the devil, don't they, Justine Murray?
Yeah, because they support him. And it seems like almost every elitist media outlet, they've treated this smug anchor baby who looks like Rachel Maddow if she took as much testosterone as he does, as their communist cover boy. You had the most viewed news site in this country, the New York Times. They propped him up, the giggling cows on their podcast. They laughed along like little schoolgirls as he preached about stealing from the so-called upper class, as if this guy with an $8 million net worth is not one of them. He's preaching like he's Robin Hood, as if he has these professional wipers following him around to his edgy Whole Foods heist to steal bread. I mean, this guy, suddenly they're pretending to condemn him, which, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's funny because it's comical, but it's insane and it's horrific. Yeah. The fact that they're only now suddenly condemning him at 0 hour. They're not even.
Well, they did the same damn thing with Graham Plattner when they realized he was going to be a hindrance. I want you to listen to this.
I'm pro stealing from big corporations. We must end the American empire. America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
We're a big tent. I may not agree with lots of opinions from some folks who are in DSA, but we're going to need everybody.
You have some of these incumbents who have lost their re-elections in places like New York and Colorado. And what does that say about the party today, do you think?
It says that the party is going to win the Congress.
We need a big tent, and I think people like Piker should be welcome into that.
The Democratic Party is a big tent party. We've always been a big tent party.
Yeah, even Piker. You just heard Bernie Sanders, even Hassan Piker. They've really stepped in it, boy. They've really stepped in it, Justine.
Well, and that's why the support for 9/11, the support for Mao, this guy said that Mao is the greatest person of all time. He also said that he wants to, wipe himself with the Constitution.
Yes.
He's also said that he told a lady from Vietnam that he wishes that Ho Chi Minh had murdered her. That stance, that is the mainstream stance of the left. It's Islamo-communism, and it's mainstream because you have these old-school Democrats of yesteryear who literally bent the knee during eras like BLM, during the so-called Summer of Love. They bent the knee and wanted to expand the big tent to people who wanted to instill Islamo-communism by, quote-unquote, any means necessary. And what did we think when they preached any means necessary? They preached the same things that Hassan Piker openly advocates, which is hunting down people in the streets, if not surrounding them in mobs. So, that's the encapsulation of one party right now. And the media will continue to gaslight us into believing, if you call these types out, if you call Abdul el-Sayed out for saying that he doesn't want to celebrate the death of the Ayatollah because he doesn't want to offend his 7th century constituents, well, then you're Islamophobic. You're a bigot. You're a racist.
Yeah.
It's so backwards. It's the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that in Michigan, and I always forget the woman who ran against Lindsay, what's her name? Anyway, his opponent in the primary, I've already forgotten her, but 27% of her voters are going to vote for the Republican candidate.
Oh, Haley Stevens.
Haley Stevens, yes.
Yeah.
Mike Rogers,
Yeah.
they're 27%. Now this, Justine, I've been saying for years that in the 2024 election, I said 80% of us believe the country was headed in the wrong direction. 80% of us can come together to save her. And we are beginning to see the Democrat Party being cleaved, and the good people in the Democrat Party who we've not heard from because of the very vocal leftists at the head of the party who believe in nonsense like boys can become girls and compete in girls' sports, etc., and abortion until birth. the people who love America, they are leaving that. And this is going to divide the party in time for the midterms. And I have always said that the Democrat Party needs to either reinvent itself or disappear into the dustbin of history. I do believe, I still stand by that possibly happening. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm concerned that the party and their media, they're going to try to coax people my age, which they've already done in New York with Mamdani, to actually stand with them. So I don't know if some people say, well, if they continue to preach this like full-blown communism, then that's going to veer people in the center or normal people to the right. But I'm afraid not. Like young people, at least two-thirds or about two-thirds of people my age, under 30, they have a favorable view of socialism. 58% of Democrats prefer socialism over capitalism. Another study came out saying that like people under 30, like a large, decent percentage of them, actually maybe around 30% of them, actually have a favorable view of communism. Yeah. So like I'm not so sure that...
Well, we're not going to live under it. We won't live under it. Hillbillies, homeboys, and Hebrews. We're not going to live under it. And if you look up nationally at the polls, overall with regard to favorability of socialism, it's still underwater nationally. Now, it may be on the left, it may be with the young. They're still beatable. They're still convinciable. But we are in a battle. Certainly, we are in a battle. But I'll tell you right now, my generation, the millennials to some degree, and others, we aren't going to be ruled by these idiots who have no life experience, no ability to run anything, and are espousing ideals that have failed for a century. We got to run. Justine Murray, tell everybody where we can find all your awesome work, by the way.
Certainly. You can find me at MRC Video on X, also at Justine_Brooke on X, and at Media Research Center on Instagram. And it's always great joining you. Thank you so much for having me.
Your videos, by the way, I just want to say, the MRC video are just outstanding. Your commentary, your narrative, everything is just outstanding stuff. You're doing a great job. Thanks for being on the show.
I look up to the best.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. She's phenomenal. I think she's like 24 years old. I'm looking at Rob's followers on Newsmax, 1.3 million. Did you know I have nearly 3 million on Truth Social? And those are Newsmax numbers, so I'm glad to be writing on the coattails of Newsmax. Newsmax has given me the glorious platform of their social media to do this, so I'm pretty happy about that. We're growing, guys. It's phenomenal. It's pretty amazing. We got Jamie Bellet here. Hello. How are you? Big Father, you're new here. You buy Fartcoin now. Fartcoin is exploding. Well, I'm going to delete you because you're a fart. I don't like idiocy. Don't come to this chat if you're going to behave like a moron. Mickey Hastings is not a moron. Neither is Blockbuster 2K. No. But if you are an idiot, you're not welcome here. I recognize you a mile away. I can smell your trolling a mile away. You know why? Because I've been on the planet a while. And I'm a pretty smart guy. Pretty darn smart guy. Let's go over here to the Newsmax, man. See what's going on. President Trump participates in the signing at the Oval Office to Lake Ontario, Lake America. Signed an executive order to officially. Oh, my God. Oh, this is funny. Hold on. Oh, this is hilarious. This is going to... Oh, hold on. Oh, come on. Come on. So I'm watching Newsmax here on social media, And Donald Trump is apparently signing an executive order to officially change the name of Lake Ontario to Lake America. Oh, my God. Oh man! Is he trolling? Is he trolling Canada? Wow! Changing the name, and that's what he's doing. He's poking a stick at him, and this is what he does. You know why? Because it's good to be the king. It's good to be the king. Absolutely. I was going to have some audio for that, but I got to run everything myself, and I couldn't get to it in time. But anyway, there is that happening. This is an interesting comment about the Democrat Party. Now that they're in bed with the DSA, now that they're in bed with the with Hassan Piker and the like.
All of them. The whole Democratic Party should have said, y'all are all crazy. The socialism thing is not going to work. This will not be good for our country. And I thought it was the younger people that were for socialism because they don't know much about socialism. But these are adults. These are people that have experience. These are people that know individuals from Cuba or Venezuela. They know how socialism works and they want to bring it to America, and it's crazy.
Yeah, the Democrat Party sold its soul again, this time to the DSA, because they would be willing to vote for the devil himself if they thought the devil could win. That's it. I think we need some comedy from Jim Gossett about Abdul El Fayed, who will not be a senator from Michigan. On the Rob Carson Show, yeah.
Michigan's going for Mike.
Come on, Mike.
Abdul Syed, they don't like.
Nah.
They will tell him to take a hike. They won't be voting for Abdul.
He's a fool. Come on.
Abdul is a radical with socialist views. That is why he is gonna lose. Says 9/11 was America's fault. It brought his campaign to a screeching halt. Michigan he can never fool. They won't be voting for Abdul.
They will not.
Lo and behold, I'm standing in a race running against someone who believes America deserved 9/11.
Mike Rogers is in the lead.
All right, so we're going to have much more on this in the last hour of the radio program. We also have a conservative comedian on the show next hour, Goomba Johnny Cialiano. This should be fun. If I were you, I wouldn't go anywhere.
Carson Show is presented by Paramount Plus.
You don't need to live with aches and pains. Visit ReliefFactor.com today.
Hold it now. Live from Newsmax Studios in Washington, D.C., the most interesting, informative, and funny show in America, on air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is hour number 3 of the Rob Carson Show. And, wow, what a show it has been. Just found out, did you know that at our anchor station in Baltimore, WCBM, the average time spent listening is an hour and a half every single day. Our nearest competitor there, it's half as much. Yeah, I know, it's kind of cool, right? Kind of cool. And then of course the live stream with my face here is the average time spent viewing this face right here is an hour and 39 minutes every day. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? It is a blessing. I have an expression that I came up with a few years ago, and it's that I am blessed beyond belief. And, Rush had the EIB network, the EIB, Excellence in Broadcast Network, Rush Limbaugh, talent on loan from God. Mine is the Blessed Beyond Belief, BBB network. It is. It is. You have changed my life. You have changed my life. And I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. I had mentioned to you that I have a cancer diagnosis. Hopefully that's not a shock to any of you. But I wanted to tell you today, the reason why I told you is because I needed your help. And I was at a point where I needed someone. Because it's very hard to take yourself to an MRI and a blood test and a PET scan and a whatever exam, drive yourself there, drive yourself home, go to bed in an empty bed, sit there in darkness as Satan sits on the dresser beside you laughing. That's the way I felt. And that's been about the last 4 months. And every day I've done my level best to come in here. And the thing that buoyed me was my faith and the fact that I found it by accident. The fact that I believe maybe I was guided to find it. And I got this blood test and it revealed it to me. Otherwise, I would have discovered it when I had symptoms, and then by then it would have been much, much uglier. So, there have been some things that have happened to me since I moved here. I moved here, the divorce and everything was very difficult. But I've had a couple little things happen to me that made me kind of go, whoa. On Easter this year, I told you the story as I was driving by this little Catholic church. It's a basilica in Northern Virginia here. And I was driving by, and when I drive by there, I'm like, I'm going to stop in. I'm not going to. On Easter morning, I drove by the church, and I didn't. There was no parking. There was no parking. I mean, it's a Catholic church on Easter. What the hell? What do you think? Really? Am I going to get parking? I might as well just go to the studio. I'm going to go to the studio. I'm not going to make it down there. And I started driving toward my studio, and I swear to God, the steering wheel turned, and I drove back to the church, and there was a space right there in front of the church and a door that was open to me. Open. And I went in, and I walked in, and I see this beautiful young woman walking down the side of the aisle, and it turns out she is my biological cousin, Kennedy. Her name is Kennedy. She works with the DHS. I had only seen her one time since I moved here, and that same morning, she felt drawn to that same church. She'd never been before, and I embraced her, and I hugged her, and it was a it was not just a hug. It was just this release. Like, wow. And then also, you may recall the story that I told you. I go to the dry cleaner. And this is, after the, finding out the lump and the PSA test and the MRI and all of that. And I go to this dry cleaner, and this woman goes, "Oh, we find something in your," I go, she says she's Korean. It's okay. It's no big deal. She says, "We found something in your pocket." And she pinned it to the shirt, to the plastic covering the shirt. That's what they do in the dry cleaner to find something. And it was, and if you're streaming, it's a little Bible. It's a little Bible. And it's odd because this Bible has a fault in it. The page was when it was being manufactured, it was misprinted and bent over so it stood out. And the pages that were folded over related to me, and this is God kind of going, hey, And I'm not saying I'm holier than thou. I'm not saying I'm more important than anybody else. But those are God saying, "Oh, hey, I just want to get your attention here, Rob. Come on now, pay attention here, Rob." And then I go to Kansas City a couple weeks ago, and they had the results of the fusion biopsy, and I have a doctor who doesn't have the best bedside manner. I'll just put it that way. I've got a great guy. His name's Vladimir. He's spectacular. He is my radiologist. This guy is just cool. It's like, "Vladimir, how you doing? Those be done ya. We're going to beat this, Rob. We're going to beat this." And anyway, the bedside manner of the other doctor is not good. And he reveals to me as I'm at my kid's place in Kansas City, it's an aggressive cancer. And that's when things got very dark. Very dark. And I had a PET scan 3 weeks ago. And Vladimir got in touch with the people who did the PET scan because I was going to have to wait to go to the place to get the PET scan and get the results. And I was, for 2 days, just had to go on sleep meds at night. For literally the last month, I had to take sleep meds to knock me out because otherwise my mind would drive me crazy. I get this note from Vladimir. Good news. Good news. It's very local. It's very local. A couple little lymph nodes right near the prostate. Completely nukable. Completely nukable. And I had gone to Johns Hopkins, by the way. If you ever are in the area and need just the best care, I was so blown away by Johns Hopkins. I had no idea. The most personal, the most amazing. They got me in a week. One day I came in, they got me the internist, they got me the surgeon, they got me the nurse, they got me the anesthetician, they did my blood work. They did the blood work. They scheduled a surgery date. It was supposed to be September the 3rd. Now I'm not eligible for surgery, but here's the great thing. I talked to the doctor from Johns Hopkins this morning, who is he called me personally. He called me personally this morning. And he said, "Rob, I am in complete concurrence with Vladimir." He says, surgery was an option, but he says, actually, the option we're doing now is much better. So I have 3 experts who say that the battle plan that we've chosen is the way to go. The way to go. So, fear has been replaced by resolve. The fact that I shared this with you, and I hope you will, you don't mind me telling you this. I look at the things that happened in my life, like recovering from drinking myself to death and going through the things I went through, as an opportunity to witness to maybe possibilities. I was selling cars for a living, drinking myself to death, getting drunk at work, and then healing, and now number 10 political commentary podcast in America, or number 16, depending on the metric you look at, number 250 in overall podcasts in America, reaching millions of people. And when I asked you for help last week, or a little over about 2 weeks ago, when I asked you for help, you came through, and there was so much. It was overwhelming, and there were no trolls. Normally you get a lot of trolls. I've gotten no trolls. It's such an unbelievable blessing. It's an unbelievable blessing that nobody's trolling me, nobody's wishing me harm and all of that. But I'm going to tell you that as I pursue this journey, I'm going to use this to help others. That's the reason why I'm going through this. I'm gonna educate you maybe a little bit, maybe even inspire you if I can. And if you're suffering, you just ask. If you're in the chat on any one of our social media posts, just ask for help. I did it last night on Instagram, and I had somebody say she's suffering tremendous anxiety, and I said, you know what? We're here for you. What I want you to do is I want you to tuck yourself into bed, and I want you to realize that we are all there with you. And by the way, thanks for it says, I know about Pluvicto, okay? I don't need Pluvicto. Pluvicto is for metastatic cancer. But Pluvicto is remarkable. I'm just going to tell you, if you know someone with a metastatic cancer, you might want to look at Pluvicto. It's remarkable, and it's been approved by the FDA. And my insurance, I have that We Share. I have the Christian-based health, the guy, the obnoxious guy on radio who says, you need and I need, and I'm like, so I got it. And they're freaking amazing. They're amazing. So I've been very blessed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this because I'm here to inspire, inform, entertain, motivate, bring joy to you, spread faith, spread patriotism, do all of those things. And you have helped me so much. I will never be able to quantify what the last 2 weeks have meant and what that call from that doctor at Johns Hopkins meant to me today. On that note, we're going to take a break and continue scheduled programming in a moment. You're listening to The Rob Carson Show.
Radio 680, WCBM.
Donald Trump's election. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's the Rob Carson Show.
It is the Rob Carson Show. All right, we are back. We are back to normally scheduled programming and all of that stuff. Donald Trump has made an official executive order to rename Lake Ontario into Lake America. I think we should just call it Lake America. I think we could just call it Lake America. I think would be good. I guess we're going to do Lake America. Here's Jim Gossett as the Prezi.
Trump is rightfully mad.
No, he's just actually Jim Gossett, I guess.
At Canada, their response was sad. Deal. They did not make a deal.
They didn't.
They walked away, knowing how we feel. Lake Ontario renamed. We'll call it Lake America.
Why not? What the hell?
And Mark Carney is to blame. We'll call it Lake America. They were warned.
Woohoo!
Tariffs we will increase. Trade with them we will cease. They had their chance. They had their chance.
Yeah, they did. Don't mess with them.
Lake Ontario no more. We'll name it Lake America.
Why not?
Carney's rotten to the core.
He is a globalist.
He doesn't like America.
There you go.
With Canada, we'll cut all ties.
Canada.
They disrespect.
Yeah, they really need a conservative up there. Polyev, they need him in charge up there. When that happens, then we will be back to normal. We'll be back to normal, and Canada will finally be the country that it should be. Rugged individuals they were, and then they became soy boys. Justin Trudeau, who is the masculine portion of the relationship between him and Katy Perry. She wears the pants, for goodness sake. I think he wears a G-string. That said, enough about that. Los Angeles residents disgusted by their choices for mayor. Now, I'm not saying there was any fraud, but, yeah, one of them shouldn't be the candidate. Yeah. Nitwit ramen noodles. Lots of people who live in the Los Angeles area disgusted by the two choices. You know why? Because Los Angeles is going to continue to suck. Los Angeles Democrat mayoral candidates were torched by residents after a debate night in America's second most populous city that one voter described as disgraceful. After the debate, voter Stacey Segarra Bollinger said that they were both bad. I wish they could both lose. Bollinger, who until July served as a committee member on the Sherman Oaks Neighborhood Council, but I think it burned down, I'm not sure, said that although she was initially a huge champion for nitwit ramen noodles, I don't see substantive differences between the two of them. Meanwhile, Wayne Spindler of Encino and regular City Hall critic said that a lot of people are very upset. They don't like either one of them, and a lot of them are going to walk out of this debate and not vote at all. And honestly, I'd write in for somebody else, write in for frickin' Mickey Mouse. You know, it doesn't even matter. But this is an L.A. Man talking about what's going on in L.A.
Specifically on Skid Row, every day, every time we go, we see somebody overdosing. We see dogs that are abandoned. We see children without their parents. And we see good people living on the streets that are so scared. We just ran into a woman there who had a dog, and she went to Skid Row specifically because she wanted help. She was robbed, she was attacked, and her dog was kidnapped. That's what's happening on Skid Row when it's supposed to be a place with all these resources. People are being robbed there. People are being attacked. People are being murdered. Just last week, there was two homeless people stabbing each other, and one of them got killed. It is lawless, and it's not getting better.
No, of course it isn't. It's a giant scam. It's a giant scam. Here's a woman in New York City. The woman in New York City, young woman, probably voted for Zohran Mamdani. And here she is walking down the street, and she steps into a pile of human feces.
Oh, I'm going to throw up. Oh, I'm going to throw up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm like literally almost going to cry.
Yeah.
I just stepped
Fill up, Mark.
I'm wearing flip-flops. Inhuman shit.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to it. We need to go to Mark in Baltimore. My goodness, he's been holding a while. Mark, you got about a minute, brother. Sorry to put you off. Tell me what you got to hear. Say.
Yes, good afternoon, Shalom, Rob. I hope you feel much better.
I do.
I wish you in Hebrew before Shalema.
Thank you.
Speedy recovery. But the reason I'm calling is because of the concern in the Democratic Party of the rise of democratic socialism. And with the Jewish community, some who are registered Democrats and all that, they should realize the fight of anti-Semitism and anti-Israel has been rising in the party for years and years. This reminds me of a story I was actually told this morning. In pre-Nazi Germany, then there was what's called the National Socialist Movement at one point.
Of course.
Believe it or not, before it took power in 1933, there were several Jewish folks in Germany who actually supported it at that point. I think it would be a savior to them for the economic woes of, after World War I and so forth.
Yeah.
But when it turned ugly as it did and turned its against us Jews and all that, it was a bit too late.
Right.
And you see, the Jews, my Jewish brethren, got to recognize and wake up.
Yeah, Mark, I'm going to tell you right now,
over a cliff.
the DSA was the smelling salts to, I think, many Jews who had been self-loathing for a very long time. It is a wake-up call to the patriotic Democrats who still do exist out there, and I think that we're going to pull things back from the brink. What do I always say? I say what? Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews. Marcus, you're the Hebrew. I'm the hillbilly.
Thank you.
All right, bro, we're going to do this. We're going to win, God willing. No, God willing. God will bring us back from the brink. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson for Ghost Bed. You may not remember every time you toss, turn, or wake up hot, but your body does. That's why you wake up tired before the day even starts. That's why I got a Ghost Bed, the best bed in the history of mankind. Ghost Bed is engineered to help reduce the reasons your sleep gets interrupted. Ghost Bed is designed to relieve pressure, help regulate temperature, support your body. Cooling technology built into every mattress and made in the USA. With Ghost Bed's 101 night trial, you can try it at home because the real test of a mattress is how you feel in the morning. If you're waking up sore or tired before the day even starts, check out Ghost Bed. For a limited time during Ghost Bed's Labor Day sale, they're offering my audience an extra 10% off their lowest prices of the season. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. Hey guys, it's Carson for Relief Factor. When it comes to supplements, two things matter most. It works and you can trust it. We hear from people every single day whose lives have been changed, and we'd like you to hear their stories. Rebecca was hesitant at first, but she discovered how easy Relief Factor makes it to adjust or cancel anytime. Now she says her knee pain is better. She doesn't rely on other pain relievers, and she tells everyone it's absolutely worth it. Rebecca is just one of many. I am as well. My hips used to hurt at night when I sleep. No more, ladies and gentlemen. They make it easy to find out if you'll be the next person telling us Relief Factor is absolutely worth it. 3 weeks for just $17.76. Yep, $17.76. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. We hope you'll be sharing your story with us, too. It is the Rob Carson Show, a Thursday. We are one of the only conservative talk radio programs in America, actually the only, that features comedy. I've been writing comedy for many years, wrote for Rush Limbaugh, talent on loan from God. Have dabbled in stand-up comedy and have a great deal of appreciation for comedians. They are philosophers. They are they do it without a fanfare. They do it with a microphone and an audience, and there are a few who can do that. And one of those people is joining me on the Newsmax hotline right now, Goomba Johnny Saliano, stand-up comedian. Welcome to the Rob Carson Show. How are you, my brother?
How are you, Rob? Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. By the way, I appreciate your health advice. I will try broccoli raw at some point. It works terrific. I saw your bit on, without being too graphic, broccoli raw. But before you go to bed, the next morning, you're guaranteed to the pipes will be cleaned out.
Well, everybody has that one food that makes them go. And for me, it's... You know what I mean? Yeah, nobody wants to admit it. Everybody's got that one go-to food that will guarantee the next day you will be clean.
You know, here's the thing. I pickle my own jalapenos, right? And I've been doing this for like 25 years, and I eat jalapenos on everything. And I went in for a colonoscopy a couple years ago. This guy said, "Have you ever used this colon?" I mean, I swear to God, it's spotless.
Yeah, I had the same experience, too, because my wife calls me Mr. Red Meat.
Oh, you know, but I'm telling you something about red meat. I'm doing this keto diet, and I tell you what, man, it is, and I normally don't subscribe to diet and all this, but the problem is, we eat so much sugar, we eat so many carbs. Pasta is a gift from God, I get it, but, can't have it every day. But they are now saying red meat, you should eat red meat. And I think the left has always gone after red meat because it's bourgeois.
Right.
Only people who are elite should be able to eat the red meat. You little people should not eat red meat. And they've said that cow farts are destroying the planet and all that. It was all crap. Red meat is actually pretty damn good for you.
I think so. It's worked for me. I mean, it's better than eating peanut butter and jelly, I can tell you that.
Well, here's the thing about, beef tallow, right? They're saying you should use beef tallow. My mother always kept a tin of bacon fat on the stove. You know why? Because bacon fat and beef tallow don't cause heart disease. You know what does? Margarine and Crisco.
Exactly. You're 100% right. Your mother was ahead of her time.
Yeah. Was your mom a good cook?
My mom was great. My mom was an unbelievable cook, but like any other mom, they retire and they don't announce it, and if she reaches a certain age and you start getting shitty meals, and you're like, what happened?
Yeah. Now, so my mother, she unfortunately had a stroke. But in her day, we would have 45 to 60 people at Thanksgiving. She would do a goose and a turkey and a ham and 14 pies. And, I mean, like I'm in Iowa, she's making mincemeat. What? Who makes mincemeat in Iowa? But she was amazing. She was amazing. And she insisted nobody goes in her kitchen. How about your mother?
My mother, with the way our house was structured, you could pretty much see everything, like in the kitchen and stuff like that. But my father was Sicilian and my mother was Polish, and so we got the best of the Italian. And I love Polish food.
Absolutely.
I love the pierogies and the kibasi and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So we had a great variety in my house.
100%. My dad was a World War II veteran. The only thing he had to do was SOS, bleep on a shingle, and then my mother did everything else. He did everything else. But let me ask you this: so you're a stand-up comedian. Which means you're insane. You've chosen this for a living. Tell me how long you've been doing it, and why'd you get into it? Who inspired you, man?
Well, I started off. I did 17 years on the radio in New York.
What?
I had a morning show.
Where? Which station?
WKTU.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I had a morning show, and then I kind of got tired of it, and then I just I wanted to just work on my stand-up. So I would say for the past 10 years, I've been making a living doing stand-up.
You've been making a living. That's pretty amazing.
Well, it's tough, especially I'm not a young man.
Yeah.
And
how old are you?
It's a lot easier to make a living during the Trump administration than it was during the Biden. During the Biden administration, there was like a tightrope, identity politics, all that stuff, and some comedians who were a little bit more out there, they got protested against and stuff like that.
Yeah. Let me ask you this:
a lot of suppression.
I think the ability to offend has made a return. I really, really do, and
without a doubt,
isn't it, brother? And you know what really helped that? Elon Musk saving free speech by buying Twitter. That had a lot to do with it, and then it just went out from there. Because there was a while there you had to step around everything, but now we can really get back to saying things not to offend, but we can say offensive things without people getting all wanting to censor you.
I wrote a joke. I'll tell you the joke, and
make sure it's PG-13. It's got to be PG-13.
No, it's PG-13. It's a joke I do now that I would have not have done during the Biden administration.
Okay.
I said there was this is true, there was a national contest on parallel parking, right? And the winner, parallel parked, no cameras, in 8 seconds.
Yes.
And here's the amazing part. The winner was a woman.
There you go.
No, but hold on. It was a man who identified as a woman.
Okay, so yeah, you're exactly right. I've got I watched and I bring this up every time because Dave Chappelle. He did a special called and by the way, he's the guy who convinced me to stay in radio and not do stand-up comedy. He did, dude. About 2020, he just finished doing Nutty Professor, just launching the Chappelle Show. And I said, Dave, I wish I did what you do for a living. He goes, Rob, I wish I do what you do for a living. I said, why? He goes, I hate being on the road, man. You're going to do stand-up every day. And I said, you know what? I'll continue to do the stand-up every day. That's a real story, though. And he's a great man. But he does this. He did a special a couple years called Sticks and Stones. And one of the jokes that he made was, I watched it and I was offended. Didn't make me want to turn it off. You know what he said? He goes, I don't know what these kids are, who were molested by Michael Jackson are complaining about. If I was molested by Michael Jackson, I'd be telling all my friends about it. I'm like, oh my God. Well, it's just because it's not serious. It's not literal. It's supposed to be an absurdity.
Well, look, the comedy stage and comedians are the last bastion of truth in this country. And so when you start suppressing comedians, the country's in a very, very bad state when comedians can't get up there and make fun of what's going on in society, or and actually really giving the truth to the public in their own way. Then we're in trouble.
100%. We got to take a break, though. By the way, you have a website, goombahjohnny.com/about, I guess. We'll get to all of this stuff, where people can find you and whatnot. Got to take a break and come back with Goombah Johnny Saliano on The Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere. It is the Rob Carson Show. We do like to have comedians on the show every once in a while, and we got one of them right now. Goombah Johnny Saliano, stand-up comedian. Where are you based out of, by the way? I'm guessing New York, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm in New York. You can get in touch. It's at Goombah Johnny on Instagram.
And how do you spell it? Goumba?
Yes, Johnny.
Goombah Johnny. Good job. You know, I got to tell you, I like to say that conservative comedy is on the ascent because the left can't be taken seriously anymore. If you think that a boy can become a girl and compete in girl sports, you can't have a debate with somebody like that, right?
Yeah, it is interesting. Conservative comics are doing much, much better now under the Trump administration. Hey, look, the president talks without a filter, and that just spills over to everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna give credit also to Gutfeld. And I think that he's done a great. I didn't know Jamie Lizzow until Gutfeld, and look what he's doing. I give him a lot of credit for inviting comedians on as panelists to talk about politics, because I think the best way to disarm your opposition is to use humor, right?
Yeah, without a doubt. I've worked a lot with Joe DeVito and Joe Mackey. They're both from New York, and we work together a lot in the city. And they're his writers, along with Adam Hunter and a couple other people. They're excellent. His show is excellently written. I mean, he pushes the envelope, which is, which is really the only conservative show out there like that.
Yeah.
And I think his show is watched by conservatives and non-conservatives too. I mean, I think that because funny is funny, and it appeals to everybody.
Now, I do a weekend show on Newsmax. I have for 6 years, and Donald Trump says it makes me the funniest guy on TV. It's called Rob Carson's One in the World, by the way. And we just added a new monologue feature to it. And I just think you can disarm your opposition with humor while making a powerful point. Gutfeld delivers some of the most thoughtful, powerful monologues that can compete with any supposed pundit out there, and include humor in that. That's the remarkable thing about the guy.
I like to watch Gutfeld because the whole time I'm watching him, I keep on saying to myself, I can't believe how much smarter this guy is than I.
But you know what? But dude, I hate to tell you this. You are a smart man. You're a comedian. Honestly, right. Nobody who does comedy is an idiot. Comics think mathematically. Comics are really, really, really brilliant people. And I would venture to say that we don't remember the words of Aristotle, but we remember the words of George Carlin. Because comedians comedians are philosophers. They are thoughtful. They distill thoughts. They look at things from different angles that otherwise people would not see. And I would venture to say they also think very mathematically.
You know what? I have to give you credit. I never heard that analogy before. I happen to agree with you 100%. And I'm going to tell next time I get booked, I'm going to tell them that they're going to pay extra for a little philosophy.
There you go. Yes, you're not as dumb as your parents thought you were.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. My parents are half my act.
Yeah. Oh, dude. This is another thing before we wrap things up. I'd like, for instance, I have gone through I'm going through phases of my life through becoming married, parenthood, now divorced because of politics. Thank you very much, mostly. But you're always thinking about that, aren't you? I've seen some of your stuff about marriage and your relationship and all this. But it is, you also share your life phases and the humor associated with them. You're able to find that every single day, aren't you?
Yeah, especially getting older now. I'll be 70 in September.
What? You do not look 70 years old.
Well, I stayed in a lot as a kid. But thank you very much.
No, you look great.
I mean, all the different phases. I do a thing in my act where I say they tell you life begins at 40. What they don't tell you is it ends at 50. And you basically, I mean, once I hit 50, I take crap to wake up, crap to go to sleep, crap to crap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's all about prescriptions.
Well, you know what? I got sober 6 years ago and started lifting weights, and I discovered that I'm actually physically stronger than I am now at 60 than I was at 30. I'm not sure where you are about that, but you can actually put on muscle mass. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I get you. You need your broccoli raw before you go to bed.
Yeah, well, don't get carried away. You're not ready for a fight in a gas station.
Oh, I am not. No. I'd have to have some sort of something in my pocket. But anyway, hey, listen, it was a real pleasure having you on today, man. Where you? Did you just play in New York? Ever make it down to D.C.?
I don't know. We played this in the last 6 years. I've been in like 40 states. So,
all right.
We're going to be, and I did Delaware once. That was about as close. Good. Yeah, that was about as close. But we do a lot in Florida, man. I did the whole pandemic, I performed.
Of course you do.
in
You're
Florida.
almost 70.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, brother, listen.
I'll leave you with this. It was so funny because during the pandemic, everything was open in Florida, and I lived in New York, and there was a 7:00 curfew in Manhattan. And I would come back, and people in New York would go, "What's it like in Florida? What's it like?" I said, "You're not going to believe it. They're running around naked with cowboy hats on." I said, "Screaming freedom."
Oh, man. Goomba Johnny on Instagram, right?
Yeah. Goomba Johnny on Instagram. Pleasure talking to you, my friend. Continued success.
All right, God bless, brother. We'll talk. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. I like that guy. I think it's fascinating. I hope you don't mind. I think it's kind of interesting to talk to comedians. Hopefully we'll get bigger names, but you know. Proton therapy, yes, I've been told about it. We have a plan of action we're doing. And I just talked to somebody who did it 7 years ago, and it's kicking butt. Yeah, Dave Chappelle was the Nutty Professor. He was Professor. He was Reggie. He was Reggie in that. So it was his first thing, man. He was a jerk. He played a complete jerk, but that was his. He was no. You're wrong. It wasn't his first. You're wrong. He was in Robin Hood Men in Tights. He was in Robin Hood Men in Tights. You didn't remember that, did you? He was in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Yeah, it was like 1994, Mel Brooks. Not a great movie. Not a great movie. Pretty good. Not a terrific movie, but, you know. Is that a Glock in your pocket? He's glad to see me. Yep. That's how I defend myself. That's how I defend myself. I'll just leave it at that. I'm well armed intellectually and physically. What do I want to wrap things up here? Mark Thiessen.
.68 6700 or visit JimJenningsTransmissions.com. Glenn Burney Transmissions and Jim Jennings Transmissions, Baltimore's most dependable team.
You have about 350 here.
Okay. It is a Rob Carson Show. Everybody wants some Van Halen. Thank you very much. So, you know, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes to take down some of these leftist organizations that have run roughshod over America, caused enormous amount of damage and terror. The Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control designated Italy-based Autistici Invenati, the United Kingdom's Palestine Action and Transnational Group, Masar Badil, under executive order, blah, 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 the government's primary counterterrorism sanctions authority. Here is Marco Rubio talking about that.
You are here because your political leaders are being attacked and stabbed and shot in your streets, because your businesses have been bombed, because your railways have been sabotaged, because your police officers have been beaten and burned. You are here because this is real, and it is getting worse, and it can no longer be denied, and it can no longer be ignored, because it is time to crush this evil forever. The simple fact is, none of this that I've just described is new. Far-left political terrorism is not a recent-day modern novelty. It is not a fiction.
And it's almost exclusively from the left.
Manufactured by conservative politicians. For most of the modern era, it was in fact the dominant form of political violence.
The State Department said Oregon-based Rose City Antifa used the collective tools to organize and incite violent acts inside the United States. Far-left media group on the same infrastructure publicizes communiques for Islamic Revolutionary Guards, Hamas, Hezbollah, etc. This will be the last 2 years of the Trump administration, destroying these animals, going after people like Roy Neville Singham, going after people like George Soros, and the damage that they have caused, gutting these groups who have caused so much terror in America, burning and sacking American cities in the summer of 2020. Have you noticed you're not seeing any more of these no kings idiots out and about? Not seeing much of that anymore. And I'm telling you, you have to have faith that we are going to defeat the Democrat socialists. We have too many of our relatives who have fought in foreign soil to defeat the forces of Marxism and communism and socialism, and we are not about to let that happen because a bunch of spoiled, damned brats who have no life experience decide that they think it can suddenly work. It's already, I told you, if we're going to use an analogy with regard to car racing, the DSA has hit the outer wall and is careening into the infield, spinning out, and all of the people who have decided to follow it and say that it's a way that the Democrat Party should go, they're in the massive car pileup. We're going to steer around them, and we're going to win in November. You got to believe, overwhelm the left with joy and faith and patriotism. There can be no doubt. You have to vote, and you have to be focused on victory. That's it. God bless you, America's founder. Donald Trump, this great president, our military, and until tomorrow, which by the grace of God is Friday, don't catch the stupid. I love you guys. See you.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.